So this was meant to be a wallet flip, but I guess this has now turned into my 1 week pocket rings update. So let's get into it. I mentioned in my 90-day personal rings update video that I wanted to introduce pocket rings into the mix as a wallet and on-the-go setup. And well, if you also happen to see my low buy update video, I did mention that this cover was one of my purchases in January. And I actually ordered this January 9th. It didn't show up until the 31st. I set up the wallet about the last week of January, but the minute I held this in hand, it was pretty much game over, and I knew that I wanted to move my entire system down to pocket. I don't think any of us are surprised if you know me. But I'm really liking it, and it's working out. In general, it's got everything from my personal size into pocket. I had to do a little bit of reformatting, but we'll go through that as I kind of flip through. The only real big change is if I stick with this, I think I'm going to be introducing a second book, and that is the A6 Hobonichi Techo, but we'll kind of talk about that as we get through the video here. I will say I'm still in the experimentation phase. I'm not quite ready to declare like I am using pocket rings. I've only been using it for 7 days, and I'm still kind of mentally juggling through the pros and cons. I have been keeping my personal up to date because I do expect like having a couple bad days at work, and I'm gonna run right back to my comfort planner at this point, which is my personal rings. But we're taking it day by day, and I would say slowly but surely the needle is kind of moving towards pocket rings. But anyway, let's get into it. So this is the Filofax Ranger, and unfortunately they don't make this anymore. I found mine on eBay, and I had to aggressively search for it. Like, I was searching for Filofax Rangers every single morning, and one morning it was there, and I think I blacked out because before I knew it, I had checked out, and it did take quite some time to get to me. It did come from overseas, so a little bit nervous about that, but now that she's here, she's perfect, and I really, really love this cover. I am using this as my wallet as well. There's a gusseted pocket in the front, and I just keep cash and cards in there. In the zipper pocket, I keep a couple band-aids, my normal wallet stuff. On the inside, there are 3 card pockets. I've got my ID and credit card in here, and then my inspo girl for my fitness journey that I'm on. In this slip pocket, I just have my monthly planning routine. I've been working on that with my patrons. And then there is a full-size slip pocket along with this nice mesh pocket in the back, and I just kind of keep some stickers in there currently. The pen loop is the same as the personal size, so just incredibly small, so I'm clipping my pen to it, as you can see. And then there is a slip pocket in the back as well. No big back pocket if you're kind of if that's something that you rely on, but I find this to be really great as a wallet because for the most part I can just use the front pouch without bulking up the inside of the planner too much. This is, I think, 15mm ring, so this is probably one of the more compact setups that I've done in a while, with the exception of my plotter, but I've added a lot to my planner since the last time I was using my plotter in personal size. Well, plotter calls it Bible size, but you get the idea. So we are the most stuffed, I think, I've ever been in rings. I kind of don't like when it starts to stick up like this, but I'm also just enjoying having everything in here, so we're rolling with it. If you saw my 90-day update flip, this is going to feel really familiar. I pretty much took every single spread that I had in my personal size and moved it over into pocket size, even like trying to replicate my same dashboards and things, but it's cuter in pockets, so we're going to flip through it. In the front, I've got a piece of acetate. This constellation sticker is one of my Patreon perks, and I'm just kind of tracking where we are in the year. This insert is from Peanuts Planner Co., and I use it to keep track of my goals. It's a fold out. This is her 147 dated yearly bundle, and really liking that this year. It's been a while since I've had written goals in my planner. I think probably since 2021. So that's felt really good this year. I then have my pencil board from Hobonichi. I believe this one was week sized. I've trimmed it and I finally punched it and slid it so that I can pop this in and out, and it's just nice to have a straight edge in my planner. And also I like the kind of this layered look with the blue behind it. So that's what that is. I've got February Patreon perks stickers that I just punched and added to the rings, a index sheet that I haven't filled out, some sticky notes. These are 2x2 and they're from Daiso. That's kind of where I tend to find my smaller sticky notes. First section is habit trackers, finances, and collections. I once more printed out the Yoga with Adriene calendar for February. As you can see, we are not nearly as good as we were in January, but that's okay. I have a teeny tiny condensed version of my compact mood log, and I will not be doing this next month. I already know if I'm in pocket in March, I'm going back to the old school mood log, which is horizontal with a lot more room to write. So I think that's what the plan will be for March, but we're using what we have. Habit tracker for the month. I have a monthly log where I'm just writing something nice about myself every single day. And on the back, I've been keeping track of my dreams because I guess why not? This is the adulting log from my shop, the grids version, and this is just the same thing where I keep track of non-automated and like monthly, quarterly, annual tasks that I need to do. And then on the back, I have a high-level medical log, when did I last go to the doctor, those types of things. Cycle tracker, my planner tracker. I have been continuing on from day 90 because I was really ambiguous and I called it in rings, but I think if I make it another week in this, I'm gonna have to reprint it and we'll start over. But I set up this planner on the evening of the 31st, so that's why I circled it so I could see it. Bingo, we are getting dangerously close, guys, to a bingo. If you want to play along with me, this is a freebie in my shop, the ghosting pen. I'll have my shop in the description box for you if you want to check that out. Workout log. This is a modified version of the annual weekly. I am working to bring this one to the shop, but I just write down kind of what my workout is, and if I highlight it with my mile liner, that means that I close my move ring on my Apple Watch. Low buy tracker, and I'm highlighting my purchases and then writing them over here. If you didn't see my low buy video, I'll link that up in the cards, but I'm challenging myself to not bring in more than 24 personal items. So things like planner covers, t-shirt, shoes, that kind of thing. No more than 24 for 2024. I did add this in because I was using this in a different section. This is from that same bundle from Peanuts Planner Co. and this is in the pocket size. And I'm using this to track my no buy. So even though I have this, what I noticed is that when I get to put a sticker down, I felt really like there's like extra endorphin rush going on in my brain. So I printed this out, and this is just for fun. We'll see how long it lasts, but I'm using stickers. These are like tiny dot stickers that I found at Daiso last year. And I'm tracking my low buy. So if I don't spend any of my personal money, so things like groceries were okay, I'll point you back to that video so I don't rehash the entire thing, but I get to put a blue sticker down. If I made a physical purchase, I put a red sticker down, and then I'm numbering it so I know like what item I purchased that day. That corresponds with this guy over here. So just something that I found helps me feel motivated, and I need that right now. 2023 taxes documents that I'm waiting on, debits and credits. I made myself like a financial log. I'm gonna have to blur this out, aren't I? But basically income, savings, investing, expenses over the course of the year, and then a log to write down anytime we meet with our financial advisor or actually move money into our investment accounts. I like to write that down. Spending and package tracker. This is available in the shop. Potential destash list. I always destash to my patrons first, so if you're interested in anything, I'd recommend joining the fam over there. My wish list, and I mentioned this like pretty in depth, but this is now listed in the shop, so I wanted to mention it. So it's did I get that item, date added, item description, and then a couple categories. Mine are planning, clothing, and other. And what I've started doing since that video is I take my mild liner and I go through, and once something has been on my wish list for more than a week, I can highlight the date blue, and that means it's no longer, I guess to me, no longer an impulsive purchase at that point. And then if I bought it the day I added it, I've been highlighting it in gray, so I know that was impulsive. So as you can tell, 1, 2, 3 impulsive purchases this year. not a good trend. Gift ideas list for my family members, my date night log for dates with my husband, call log for when I talk to different family members. I'll just kind of summarize key points. My reading log, I'm bound and determined to finish a book in February, so stay tuned for that. And then Stardew Valley reference information that I resized. These images are from Reddit, and I just uploaded them into Canva, resized them, and then printed them out. Section 2 is my agenda. So this is monthly, weekly, dailies, and monthlies are the 4mm gridded monthly from my shop. I just made myself a dated version. I've had a couple requests for the dated version. They take me a while to number for the various sizes, so I am working on it, so stay tuned for that. I've already found a lot of mistakes, but this is what February is currently looking like. We are in our page flag era. Use my monthlies like normal, no changes there. Things that I'm unsure about are kind of ending up on the page flags. I am using my monthly recap insert. This is from the shop where I just kind of do a little synopsis of the month. I've been printing out my favorite album, or I've used like stickers in the past. So this is what January ended up looking like. And then I have my rolling weeklies. So this is the Lindsay's version of the rolling weekly, but it's the 4mm rolling weekly listing in the shop. And at the end of the week, I drew a line used on my Patreon doodles stickers, and then just kind of did a little recap to fill in the space. And I think that turned out really cute. And I think it's a fun way to incorporate my Patreon stickers. So gonna continue that for the rest of the month, but that's what those look like. And then we have my dailies, and the dailies I think have been the hardest part about being in pocket size. I am using my horizontal daily from the shop, so this is listed if you are looking for something similar, but I would say now, a week into it, they've really grown on me, but I feel like it's taken me a little bit to kind of figure this out, because compared to my personal rings, it's a lot less writing space, which is why I think I'm incorporating this guy if this becomes the new main system. But at the same time, I don't really like leaving blank space on my pages for some reason. So I don't know, I've been playing around with it, and I think now at this point I actually prefer this system over things in my personal, but then I miss the all-in-one book aspect of being in personal. So anyway, that's part of the reason why I'm going back and forth. But running to-do list like normal, date, and then at the end of the day I kind of do my memory keeping and my journaling. The 2x3 photo freebies are the cutest thing ever in pocket size, let me tell you. I don't know. So at first I was like, I don't know about this, but now I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm pretty all about this. It really only leaves me space to do like 2 or 3 sentences at the end of each day. So relying on this purely for memory keeping, I don't think I could do. I would probably need to design or find a day on 2 page if I wanted this to be my all-in-one book everything. But we mentioned I'm already like super stuffed here. So I couldn't keep a full month in here, I don't think, without sacrificing something else, or only keeping like 2 weeks at a time, which might not be that big of a deal, but doesn't sound all that appealing. There's something about having a full month of inserts in my planner at a time that just feels right to me right now. So anyway, this is enough to kind of like collect it, jog my memory, pull it all together, but then I'm doing deep dive memory keeping in the techo, and I'll show you a few of those spreads at the end so you get the idea. But if it sticks, I'll do a separate video on it. This is my current daily. That's how things are looking. I'll kind of pre-plan a little bit. So this is what tomorrow looks like. And then, as I mentioned, I have space for the whole month in here. And I will say the horizontals are really nice for writing in. The rings just genuinely do not get in the way. And also horizontal space in pocket, like it's much more manageable. The horizontal in my personal felt like a lot of horizontal space for me to kind of figure out. These are easier for me to make look cute, and we've established I'm trash for aesthetics. So anyway, you get the idea. Section number 3 is work and shop stuff. So first section is work. I've got my year at a glance calendar that they released, and then my vertical weekly, and I added a to-do just check mark there, but it's essentially the same 5-day vertical weekly from the shop. And then I've got my shop stuff, and I have moved all of YouTube, Lindsay Scribbles, and things like that into here. really empowering to move it into my shop section, into my work section, because now there's like something I actually enjoy in here. I don't know. It was weird. It felt like a power move. It's one thing I like, I guess, about rings is I can kind of recategorize my planner to match my mindset and vice versa, if that makes sense. Previously, this was behind my habit tracker section, so I leveled up. So YouTube video ideas, this is a 52 weekly log that I'm working on in pocket size. It's front and back, so 27 through 52 on the back. Patreon post, same thing, because I do a weekly bonus post or video over there. Some reference stuff for my inserts, an insert to design list, stickers to design, and then my overall perk tracking and income log for tax season, and then shop expenses that I keep track of on the back. Section 4 is my nutrition and diet section. I've got my meal planning sticky notes, my inspo girls, habit tracker that I had in personal just to track my daily habits. I made it horizontal so it would fit on one page in here. And then I'm using that same insert from Peanuts Planner Co. to mark eating out, alcohol, dairy consumption, that kind of thing. Eating at home is what the green is. That's what I'm trying to do more of this year. The green stickers are like washi stickers from Stalogy in 5mm, I think, but the other dots are from Daiso. Measurement log, and then notes. This is from Filofax and from some of the like classes that I'm taking. Meal ideas, master Sam's Club list. This is like one of the things that carried over from my Pure Wallet setup. If you want to see that, I think it was on January's monthly memo over on Patreon. But just things that I always get from Sam's Club. Formatted this, inventory, things that I have toiletry wise in my pantry, and then food in my pantry, running Sam's Club list, little page flag to remind myself to get gas every time I go to Sam's Club. And then I'm keeping these old ones for now because they're kind of nice to reference. If I'm like, I don't know what I want to cook next week, I can just look back here really quick and we'll see. Divider number 5, this is my journaling section. I am still journaling in here. This is my Dear Diary journaling. This is the notes insert from my shop. I just listed that. If you get the pocket size, there's a 3mm version included along with the 4mm version, and I'm journaling on the 3mm version. I can write really small, and in pocket size, I just feel like that I wanted 3, so that's what I'm using. But Dear Diary journaling, some collecting of things, ideas, all that kind of stuff is kind of in here. I'm using my Filofax ruler just so I can flip to my current journal page. And then I have like a mini project section in here as well with some notes from the moving research stuff that I'm doing with my husband, and just some blank pages behind that. And then finally, divider number 6 takes me to my sketchbook, and we're drawing in here, baby. So same Midori MD white paper, just cut down to pocket size. I harvested it from a standard size traveler's notebook insert that I hadn't used. And then finally in the very back, I have a really old scrap piece of, I don't know what you would call this, acrylic. I think it's from Catspresso Co. I put a sticky pocket on that I've had in my hoard for years, and then I keep a Pokemon card in all of my setups. Actually, Umbreon was kind of the guy for now. I've got my dot stickers, as I mentioned, back here, along with some vertical half pages for running lists and things, so I can kind of add those in whenever, and then blotting paper cut down and punched. And I just kind of keep that tucked in the back so that that's in there. And yeah, so this is my setup for my pocket planner. Really quick, before we totally leave it, I'll just show you this quickly. Again, if this becomes the new system, I'll do a dedicated video on it, but this is the A6 Hobonichi Techo English edition that I ordered in November of 2023 when I originally had intended on using this as part of my memory keeping for my lineup. Never got around to reselling it. This cover was new this year as well. It's the gingham one. And yeah, I guess now I'm using it as intended. Still kind of experimenting with it. I will say, after spending like 3 months in my personal size, I think I developed a really good habit of carving out time for journaling in the evenings. So at this point, one weekend, I've done a little bit of backdating just to kind of play around with the spreads. That's what I wanted to show you here quick. But I have found that this kind of felt like getting right back into the groove. I used an A6 Hobonichi Techo Avec in 2023 and really enjoyed it for memory keeping. That's why I thought I wanted to use this for 2024. So picking this back up, it's been relatively effortless and loving how the spreads are turning out. It's plenty of space. When I did my January backfilling, I kind of copied from my personal rings inserts, and I pretty much wrote word for word and found I could add like 2 more sentences, so it was very comparable in space, and they're kind of a fun complement to each other, the pocket rings and the A6 Techo. And I don't know, there's still a part of me that really wants to have like a chunky, fluffy, completely full year A6 Techo. I've never gone for like the super chunky, fluffy Hobonichi. I usually try and keep them pretty slim and compact, but I don't know, we will see. I'm still a bit torn up on like the personal size. Having bigger ring space is a huge pro. Having the memory keeping and the daily logs all in one space is a huge pro, and it can archive everything in one thing. So that's kind of what is stacked against. Having portability, trash for aesthetics. I think things are cuter in pocket. I just can't help it. Using Tomo River paper again, this has been a really nice just kind of return back to it, like drawing on it, watercoloring a little bit, writing in it. I really love this paper. I know people are kind of, you know, on edge about the new paper, but I like it. So I probably prefer the old paper, but no qualms with it. I'm really liking being in this paper, and it's kind of nice to feel like if I have a really busy day, that I still have a fresh page to kind of restart, and I can use up my pocket size daily completely for functional things if that's all I need. And they're kind of fun to just kind of show the two things together when I take pictures and stuff. So right now it's pretty much like portability and aesthetics versus all-in-one book life. But I would say day by day I'm kind of moving towards the portability, because it has just been very nice to have my wallet and planner all in one thing again, actually be able to put it in all of my bags and take it out and about with me versus feeling like I need to sync things up or whatever. So while I still have a really solid memory keeping routine in the evenings, this has felt really sustainable. But again, we're only a weekend, so we'll give it a little bit more time before I make the final decision. I would say the only thing that's feeling unsustainable about it right now is I am still upkeeping my personal rings, so it's taking me like an extra 15 minutes every night. Compared to what I was doing before, because I'm doing 2 things, and I think there's a bingo square for that, so dang, I guess I better put a sticker on that one too. But anyway, that's what the current shenanigans are. If you made it this long, thank you so much for being here. Let me know what you are, team personal or team pocket. Help a girl out, help me make a decision. I'm probably gonna go pocket anyway until I'm ready for more space. But I guess we'll see. But anyway, thank you so much for being here, and I will talk to you next week.